Out of the way, Dopey!
Hi, welcome back to Auto Tip-Off. Enjoy today's video.
And please stay with us until the end of this video to learn about the Ferrari 250 short wheelbase by GTO Engineering. Okay internet friends, let's talk Ferrari 250 short wheelbase. All it takes is a glance to see those Pininfarina's best hunkers, a flash of yellow, those sassy vents, and the short wheelbase having those four pipes standing proudly at the back. The Ferrari 250 GT Berlinetta, which translates to Little Saloon, is a thing of beauty and legend. Its shape is iconic, and it is adored by Ferrari purists all over the world. The Ferrari Berlinetta is one of the world's finest driving machines. The Engineering Berlinetta has been meticulously designed down to the smallest detail. Its V12 soundtrack is one of the all-time greats, except this 250 isn't, but it sort of is, you know what I mean. This little stunner is GTO Engineering's 250 short wheelbase revival. The GTO 250 that isn't a Ferrari, except, it is exactly like it in every way. GTO Engineering's day job is to restore and maintain Maranello's finest. Whether you drive daily or only take your F40 out on special occasions, they'll keep you running. If your pride and joy needs returning to its former glory, after a run-in with a tree you didn't see, or because it was the fault of the other motorist, maybe perhaps you forgot its extended time in your henhouse, I'm joking of course, GTO will do that and make a brilliant job of it too, putting it back to its original self. As it turns out, obtaining an original part for a hand-built car created in the middle of the last century can be difficult, so GTO Engineering began manufacturing its own. You name it, GTO can make it, ensuring that all the parts and pieces are literally in the right place. First and foremost, one of the many marvelous things about this GTO 250 revival car is that there is no modernity. There are no touch screens or CarPlay or anything like that. Apart from that, you have a choice of engines, 3.5 or 4-litre naturally aspirated V12, coupled to a 4 or 5-speed gearbox. Your interior trim, your exterior color, and a few other things are all you need. The components on the 250 are manufactured to millimeter-perfect tolerances and assembled by 21st century specialized craftspeople and engineers, whose skill levels are extraordinary and are hard to come by. It's new and almost certainly better constructed than the original. I must confess that I have never driven a genuine Ferrari 250, but what I do know is that the car is powered by a 3.5-litre naturally aspirated V12 mated to a 5-speed manual transmission. It generates 320 ponies and directs power to the rear wheels. It will accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in 6 seconds and reach a top speed of 150 miles per hour. So if you don't mind, let's talk about the drive. If there is one thing that stands out about this, it is how well it was put together. Wherever I go, I've driven classic throughout my long years. And if it's from the 50s, you know it's from the 1950s, and believe me, they were not easy to drive. This GTO 250 is quite unique, but if we look at the switches for instance, they're not going to fall off. We don't have to worry about poking the dash and something falling off in your hand. Now with the steering wheel, there isn't a lot of wibble wobble. You don't have to turn it a quarter of the way around before you get a response. In this GTO 250 it's immediate and you know where you're heading, especially when you want to avoid having close encounters with trees or the odd henhouse. The noise is distinct, the hand-built 3.5-litre V12 which is just extraordinary. It's stunning. You kick it down, you point it, kind of, to somewhere in the distance, and you just let it go. You'll want to be driving out and about. Just listening to the incredible noise bouncing off everything is amazing. It feels awesome, and because there's no weight, it weighs 10-20 kilos according to GTO. That's not a lot of weight. And by the way, the brakes are unassisted. The gearbox is one of the most enjoyable aspects of this 250. It's a wonderfully communicative car, but it's also a car that inspires confidence. Not because it drives like a classic car, everything is chunky and lumpy and requires effort, which is fine, but because you can feel everything about the car, from the smallest movements on the gas pedal, to the smallest movements on the steering. The rear will communicate with you. The front will communicate with you. Every detail is perfect. It looks, feels, and smells incredible. I know some of you, however, may have valid questions about the Ferrari 250. In many cases it will come with baggage, serious baggage. For starters, 1. They are an alarming amount of money, if you want to get your hands on an original car, and 2. It's probably quite fragile because, well, it's a hand-built Italian sports car from the 1960s, so yeah, it's going to be fragile. And 3. It falls into that sort of any mileage bad mileage bit of classic cars have done, so you can't really use it without feeling, well, kind of guilty. However, with this GTO 250 you can put miles on its fresh engine and not worry. You can have fun, which is what it's all about, without a care in the world. There is one small sticking point, and I'm sure you can guess what it is. It's the price, which is going to set you back between £750,000 and £800,000 depending on spec and taxes and all that. But if you're looking at one of these you're probably not going to be worrying about service and repairs, as money for all intents and purposes is not an issue. This GTO 250 is the perfect copy. It looks right, sounds right, and feels right. It's as close to the real thing as most of us will ever get, which it is but also isn't. We have to congratulate GTO Engineering on a car that is unique and absolute whiz to drive. There you go, internet friends, thanks for looking in. I hope you enjoyed the video of the Ferrari 250 short wheelbase by GTO Engineering, and if anyone has a spare £800,000 they don't need, do your best to remember little old me. Don't forget to check out our other videos that could be of interest to you. Coming up on your screen in just a moment. Please subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our next episode. We'll be around tomorrow as usual. Hope to catch up with you then. Ta-ra for now.